Hey team, what's up? Coach Patrick here. It is the beginning of August. It is wicked hot here in Boston, and my inbox is full of messages and emails from people asking me what they need to do special for them. Totally top secret. What they need to do to move from one race to another. Some folks are going from one Ironman to a later season Ironman. Some folks are going from a half to a full. Some folks already did a full and now looking at a half. There's a whole lot of transition going on inside the house. And it's very difficult to figure out where you fit ultimately. Of course, we tell you that you need to pick an A race, and most likely that A race is your biggest race, like an Ironman. But of course, once that race is gone, you've got another race coming up, and you don't want to slack. A B race or a C race isn't about slacking, right? You want to make that an A race too. We always want to be A races. That's why they call us Type A people, the big A, big old scarlet A right there. And so, how do we manage that transition? Well, there's a couple of key things that I think about when I tell people how to manage their transitions, and I'm going to hit them to you right now. The number one delineator between the two transitions is what your goals are. All right. If you had your A race and you did your A race, and this other race you signed up early in the year was just for fun, take that into account when you decide what your goals are going to be. We always, when the race gets close enough, we always want to do our best at it. But there's a difference between doing your best and trying to align all the stars in your universe so that that race is your best. And you don't need to have everything aligned or force it all into that tiny box just so you can have a great race. You can still go out there and just race a great race without putting all that legwork into big training, taking up time with your family, rescheduling work, moving stuff around, making sacrifices. You can still have a life, be fit, and then just go out and try and race at your best. Okay, so understand that lining everything up to have a great race and having a great race are not inherently connected and are required to do massive juggling on your part. Okay. So number one, know your goals. Number two, know your time frame. If those two races are less than 6 weeks apart, there's not a whole heck of a lot you can do. Your primary focus at that point in time is on recovery from event number one, and then sharpening for event number two. That's it. And we count event number one as part of the fitness build for number two. Even if number one was an Ironman, number two is an Olympic, or number one was a half, and then number two is a full. There's not a whole heck of a lot you can do. Ideally, we hope that your training was started early in the year with the right layout so that moving from, say, a half to a full is not that hard because you've been really training for a full, and the half was just a step on the way. So you should be set from a training plan perspective. But from a 6 week or less perspective, it's really about recovering and sharpening. And the way that I recommend people recover is to recover hard. Stand down, do nothing, multiple days if needed. I always tell people if you think you need 2 or 3 days to recover, double it, okay? Double your recovery period because you're always going to cut things short and you want to be back sooner. And even though you feel good about doing a 30-minute run or an hour bike easy or whatever it is, 9 times out of 10, it's not really helping you prepare for that next race. It's just making you feel better about where you are now. You can probably do a lot more at work, at home, stretching, yoga, massage, that doesn't involve swimming, biking, and running. That's going to set you up for a much better prep for your race, for cycle around your race, actual race, all of that. So really think about how you're going to invest your time, and I definitely recommend that you recover hard first. Then when you move into actual training within those 6 weeks, you're just looking for your key workouts. If you're doing a half Ironman, say, in that second race, you've got race simulation workouts to do, which for us is 56 and 6 miles on the bike, miles on the run. I want to make sure that you're sharp there, and those workouts are a good indicator of how you feel based on the race intensity you're going to do. It's very easy to say, oh, I just did my A race last week. It's been 10 days now. I'm going to go out and do this interval workout that's on my schedule for this other training plan, for this latter race in my season, and you try and crush this interval workout and you can't do it. Well, that interval workout was written assuming that you hadn't just done a big race right before, right? So don't beat yourself up about that. Try and do that work, but understand that the real demarcation of your fitness and your preparedness is those race simulation workouts before the event. All the other workouts in that period of time are really about getting back up to speed from the recovery cycle, hitting those key indicator workouts, and then tapering down again. Not a whole heck of a lot you can do. Now, the flip side of that is if you have more than 6 weeks to go between those events, then you've got some time to do some training. So you do your recovery, and you do it right, you recover hard, and then you come back and say, okay, what am I going to do now as I prepare for my race? Where are my shortcomings off of that first race to my second? One of the easiest things that you can do to massage your schedule, do more, is to simply add like a big cycling week in there. It doesn't have to be a ton of cycling, just more than you normally do. But cycling is very low impact, easy to do. You've got gears, you've got cell phones, you've got plenty of places to stop for food. If you bonk, pass out, need to stop, whatever it is, you can always get home on your bike. Whereas on the run, you run too far, you're going to be in a bit of trouble. Run too hard, it takes a couple days to recover from that. So definitely look to cycling as a means of sort of getting back into things and kind of pushing your fitness without stressing your body too much. So for someone who's, say, 8 weeks out from their second race, and they've already done a good solid week of recovery, perhaps 2, they can come back in that first week and stack up 5 or 6 bike workouts. Maybe do 1 or 2 short runs off them, maybe 1 swim. And then that following week, kind of get back to the regular routine of their training. That's the easiest way to kind of bring your fitness back up quickly without really overtaxing your system. Anything more detailed than that requires definitely a lot of information and a lot of personal knowledge. You guys can always PM me in the forums or post to the macro or micro level threads, whatever suits your question best. Know that Rich and I are there all the time answering your questions. Happy to do so. All you got to do is ask. All right, folks, hopefully that helps. It's Coach Patrick signing off. Take care. I'll see you guys.